How do you strike the right balance between saving and spending in retirement? I've got that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. As CFPs that do comprehensive financial planning, we have helped thousands of people transition into retirement, doing so with confidence and clarity and creative solutions. Those three things, that's what your CFP should do. That's their job. And they yield calm in the face of an uncertain future. That confidence and all the planning work doesn't mean that you won't have to adapt, that you won't have to adjust. Everyone will, but you'll be calm in the face of that because you're prepared. So one of the, or a few of the common questions that we get as people are approaching retirement or in early stages of retirement is, how do I know how much I can confidently withdraw out of my investments and know that I'm not depleting them too quickly? That's one. The other is, do I need to continue saving up even when I'm in retirement? And then the last is, what if I get those two out of balance? How will I know and what will I do? All right, so let's hit the first one. How much can I safely withdraw from my investments? You've heard rules of thumb, okay? And the most common is the 4% rule, which has been challenged recently. And yeah, we understand those challenges, and we would not follow a 4% rule. That's a rule of thumb. You can't make the biggest financial decision of your life, retiring, based on a rule of thumb. No. You need more planning, more proactive planning. So knowing how much you can safely and confidently withdraw from your investments is a multifaceted approach. You need a 5-factor retirement plan, okay? A 5-factor retirement plan that analyzes 5 key choices that you get to make. The key is they're interrelated. You can't just make one in a vacuum. So what age are you going to retire? Do you want to retire? And then what's your life expectancy? So how long will retirement be? Second, what are your spending levels? What are your current spending levels plus health insurance, plus taxes, plus one-time expenses, plus or multiplied by an inflation factor as well, okay? So how much are you spending, or what do you plan on spending in retirement? What are your income sources in retirement? That's the third one. How will you optimize Social Security? So just about everyone has that. Will you have any other sources of income? Is there a pension, perhaps? Rental income, something like that. Fourth, how much do you have saved up? And how much are you saving for retirement? And then lastly, how much risk are you comfortable taking with your investments, both now and throughout retirement? And so a clear just example of that is, what if on that last one you said, oh no, I don't want to take any risk. As soon as I get to retirement, I need to be able to sleep easy at night. I don't want to take any investment risk. Well, then your potential return right now is around 4% because that's what interest rates are. But longer term interest rates are closer to 3% or 2%, because your investment return is likely to be lower, maybe half. Yes, you won't have the volatility that you would have if you were in the markets, bond market, stock market, but your return would likely be half. You might need to work longer, so retirement would need to be shorter. You might need to spend less. You might need to find other sources of income, or you might need to save more, right? So any decision is going to impact the others. And it's through that lens that your CFP will help you calculate, all right, well, for that spending number, how much do you need to be drawing out of your investments? And then projecting out using Monte Carlo and other regression analysis and different stress testing of the markets, can you withdraw that amount and not deplete your portfolio too quickly? So guys, I wish it was an easy rule of thumb, but it's a multifaceted approach for you to see how much can I safely withdraw. From there, then your CFP is likely to just double check that with a percentage. Well, that's a withdrawal percentage of 3.23%. Yep, that should work just fine. Then they're also going to look at your tax picture and make sure that those withdrawals actually don't increase your taxes too much and force bigger, higher withdrawals, those sorts of things. So it's going to start with that 5-factor retirement plan, and that will not only give you the clarity and confidence of how much can I safely withdraw from my investments, it's also going to help you know, am I on track to retire and do so with confidence? That process and then updating it on at least an annual basis, really from your 40s, but through your 50s and early 60s up to retirement, that will give you great clarity and great confidence to answering that first question, which is how do I know how much I can safely withdraw from my investments? Second, do I need to continue saving even though I'm retired? And maybe you haven't had this question before or thought of it, but it's very common. You've been saving all your life. That's why you're able to retire with confidence. You've been saving up. And one of the things that makes people feel so uncomfortable about retirement is, well, I've shifted from saving to spending. And again, going back to that first question of how much can I safely withdraw. So people feel they're uneasy that they're not saving. So we get this question from time to time. And unless you're still working part-time or as a consultant, side income, something like that, unless you're still working, you're not able to contribute to an IRA or a Roth IRA. And if you're withdrawing from an IRA, from your retirement accounts, it doesn't make sense to both withdraw and contribute. And you would just net those out and just withdraw a little bit less. In retirement, for most people, unless you're working part-time, and if you are and have a 401k available to you, oh my goodness, I get the full company match. And if you're not drawing out of your investments because you've got this part-time income, continue to save. It'll help you on your taxes, help you with retirement. But for most people, when you're in retirement, you're not going to be saving up into retirement accounts. You're going to be drawing from them. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't save. There's a 3 bank account system that we coach clients on, and oftentimes this is a cash flow operating system in your present financial position, the first area of your financial life, that oftentimes is that foundation that helps you throughout your career. And this 3 bank account system is, your checking account, but that's where you have visibility on all the monthly income and all the monthly expenses. And you do the math, you can call it a budget if you want, but you do the math to make sure you've got enough income coming in, you've got all the monthly expenses covered, the fixed expenses, the variable expenses, and you've got margin, okay? So that's your checking account, that's immediate spending. Bucket number 2 is delayed spending. Because I said in bucket number 1, this gets a lot of people tripped up. Well, those are all the monthly expenses. Well, what about the non-monthly expenses? If those non-monthly expenses are out of sight, out of mind, I'll deal with them when they come up. It's going to be hard for you to have a solid financial foundation and build up wealth, because you're going to need new tires on the vehicle. You're going to have a medical expense you weren't expecting. You're going to go on vacation. You're going to need a new car. You're going to have a home repair. You're going to have these one-time expenses. And bucket number 2 is where you're proactively thinking ahead of what those things are, calculating, well, then how much do I need to save up so that when that event occurs, I've got the cash to do so and it doesn't disrupt bucket number 1. You calculate what those savings are, you build that into your budget in your monthly cash flow, and you save up into this bucket number 2 so that when those delayed expenses come up, that delayed spending, you've got the cash right there. So that's bucket number 2. And then bucket number 3 is for emergencies, all the financial, the expenses that you can't anticipate, that truly are emergencies, whether that's a disruption of income, but also could be, this was one that we dealt with, squirrels in the attic. That was not on the radar. That was not on the radar, and I would call that an unplanned home improvement, right? And turns out, coincidentally, we found that out the week before we took a big Disney vacation with the family. This was years ago. And financially, that was not fun. There was a lot of money going out right there. And it was difficult because some of it was for enjoyment. The most expensive place on earth. I think that's their tagline. But then the other was an obligation, and it wasn't even a home improvement. It was just switching a roof out for another roof. We didn't get anything out of that, but there's a lot of money going out. And guys, this isn't, with hubris, we avoided a lot of that financial stress because we had saved up in advance. I didn't want to spend the money, but we were saved up and financially prepared. So that's the 3 bank account system. You can see how beneficial that would be during your working career. Do you need it in retirement? Yeah. Yes, because you're going to need a new vehicle in retirement. You might move. You might switch houses. You might have a home repair. My folks just did one. They retired in Florida. They just did a home remodel. And so you might go on trips, the bucket list. We want to go to do an Alaskan cruise. We want to go to Europe. Those things come up, and in retirement, done some videos on this. In retirement, you might just say, I'm going to pull extra money out of my retirement accounts. You can do that. It might cause tax problems, tax issues. And so If you're able to work that 3 bank account system even in retirement, so you're still saving a little bit, that helps retirement cash flow go a lot smoother and give you a lot more peace of mind. And then the final common question we get of balancing your savings and spending in retirement is, well, what if I find out I'm out of balance? Or will you tell me if I'm out of balance? And then what will I do? And that's why, guys, I'm going to go back to that 5-factor retirement plan, that 5-factor retirement analysis. And even in retirement, your CFP needs to be updating that and then stress testing it against different market cycles and different spending levels to see, are you still on track? We get people all the time. Of course, we love our clients and we build great relationships, great friendships with our clients as we serve them for decades. And yet they ask us, well, will you be the bad guy? If I'm on a wrong path and something needs to change or circumstances change, I'm no longer on track, will you tell me? And yes, our team, we're in that position, and we're not just going to tell you because we feel it. We're going to plan it out, and your CFP needs to do that plan and update that to say, things are a little bit out of, maybe your spending was a little bit higher and then the market didn't give us the returns, or there was a big market drop, so we probably need to pump the brakes on a couple of these things to see until things come back, something like that. If things get out of balance, your CFP that's doing comprehensive financial planning should be aware, and they should be able to coach you through it. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com, you can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.